Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now, let's hear it for our special guest host, Lucero Diaz and Ryan Chang.
Woo! What's up, everybody? Hello. This is Lucero Diaz, Ryan Chang. We've got some incredible guest speakers with us on the call. It's going to be a good one. Make sure you got your pens, your pencils, your markers, whatever you can find to write on, because I promise you we're going to deliver some nuggets. We're going to deliver good information if you want to learn on how to build a big team, build your network. So first and foremost, I'm going to introduce myself real quick, and then I'll let Ryan introduce himself. My name's Lucero Diaz. This is my 10th year working here at the Alliance. Before I found the Alliance, I had just graduated from Alamance Community College with a criminal bachelor's degree. And I was also working 2 part-time jobs in retail and in the restaurant industry. So I was a hostess, and then I worked for a company. It's called Guess, and they do retail, clothing, all that. That's what I was doing. And when I graduated, I thought, okay, it's time for a big girl job. You know, I've got so much time freed up. I need a full-time job. I found the Alliance through the infamous Craigslist. So through a Craigslist ad, I found them and they called me. Thank God that they did. I came in a few times, met Andy, met Robbie, met Clay, fell in love with the freaking office. If you guys have never been to the office, I'm inviting you now to come and get a tour, because this thing is incredible. And it's like gotten even better through the years that I've worked here. We've added on so many cool things. So I fell in love with that first. And then I fell in love with the people that were working here at headquarters. You come here and you see the people on the phones and they're just having a blast. Like, I didn't even know what they were doing. Robbie, I tell everybody, Robbie kept explaining to me like what the Alliance is and what we do. And I was like, Robbie, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what any of this means. I just know I want to be a part of it. So I got hired on as a full-time administrative assistant. And what I was doing is I was kind of in the back office, like scrubbing applications. Back in the day, we didn't do the whole electronic applications. We did the thick 30, 50 pages of applications that you would have to write in a home with the client. So I had to go through all of those, make sure the signatures were right, make sure nothing was missing. It was a time. It was a time to be alive. And very quickly, you know, I realized, man, there's some money in this industry. Like, I still don't get it fully, but I know that the people that I've met, you know, they're like me. They're so much like me. And if they can do it, I can too. So I said, I'm getting my insurance license. And so I took the test. I passed it on the 5th try. So if you're like me, or if you are on this call right now and you're in class and maybe you're a little discouraged because you didn't pass it on the first try, nobody ever cares how many times you took the test. As long as you got your license, no one's going to ask you, how many times did it take you? So I took it on the 1st time and I passed it, got my license, learned the whole selling, never sold anything before in my life. And I had to learn from the very beginning how to talk to people, how to sell insurance, how to recruit. And so I've also been through that, the no-shows, the not booking appointments, the driving around neighborhoods, knocking on doors. Like, I've done all of that too. And then I got the opportunity to work in President's Club, helping other agents build their business, recruit, train on selling, that whole thing. And I also had the opportunity for a little bit to be one of Andy Albright's full-time recruiters here at headquarters. And that was fun, because when I was talking about it in President's Club, like, it's one thing to talk about it and it's another thing to actually do it. And I learned so much from Andy, from Robbie, from Clay, from the top builders, you know, and it's a whole new world. So I took all that I've learned and then I brought it back to President's Club. And that's what I'm doing today in President's Club is I sell, recruit, and build. And I teach others how to sell, recruit, and build. In those 10 years, traveled with Andy all over the country, learned from the top people. I'm just like a sponge. That's my job here at headquarters, is to be a sponge of information and then pour that information back to you guys so that you can succeed a lot faster, because I'm learning from these people that are building the business. I'm learning, what did they do right? What did they not do, or what did they do wrong? And how can we, you know, as we bring on another generation of agents, how can we help them succeed bigger, better, faster? Talking about President's Club, I think I definitely need to talk about this. There's so much exciting things happening on right now in President's Club. So many exciting things. We just introduced a new benefit where President's Club members can get their own Boost Lingo account. It's a live interpreting service. You can do it through the web. You can do it through an app. You can do it through a phone call. So if you're sitting with a client that doesn't speak the language that you're speaking, you can instantly connect with an interpreter. Takes up to 30 seconds, and you can do it on demand, 24/7. Holiday hours, on the weekend. I mean, it's incredible. We also introduced our President's Club portal. A lot of people were asking us, where do I log in to access all of my benefits? You guys have access to that now. Yesterday, I did a call on AM cards. The holidays are around the corner. President's Club members have access to a greeting card service to help you facilitate reaching out to your clients, getting referrals, making more sales. So there's a lot of exciting things happening in President's Club. I'm very grateful to Andy and Jane Albright for the opportunity. Very grateful to be reinvited back on one of these calls. I think I did a good job, so here I am again. Y'all got me again. Brian, I'll let you introduce yourself.
All right. I'm just so thankful, and thank you for Lucero too. I know when I first came to this company, I asked a lot of your help. I mean, you're in Clay and Robbie, so I appreciate you so much. And really, before I get started, introduce myself, I just want to take a moment to really say how grateful I am for Andy and Jane Albright for not just only creating this company, but really build a platform for people like myself, whether it's OG Americans, new Americans, can really come together, grow together, and fight for our financial freedom, right? And this is truly a chosen family, and because we get to plug into the same system, and where like ordinary people can do amazing things and just get a chance to do, make amazing relationship, travel, go on free trips, and just helping lots of families. So I'll never take this for granted. So I really, again, I'm thankful for Andy and Jane. My name is Ryan Chang. I'm the regional manager now with the Alliance. I've been with the company for 2.5 years. When I was 6 years old, I was just watching television, just like Andy when I was little, just dreaming about what it could be. I was dreaming about America, coming to America when I was age 6, persisted when I was age 14, came to America, went to Oklahoma where my only relative was there, my aunt. So small town, Muskogee, Oklahoma. Worked at a Chinese restaurant, typical, right? New immigrant, small town Chinese restaurant. That was me. Grew up there, played football, went to University of Oklahoma, was recruited by the FBI to be a translator, but turned out I need to give up my citizenship back home. So because they don't allow dual citizenship. So that dream kind of faded really quickly. And then but always worked throughout college. So after graduated, just really went into retail business. I just now found out Lucero was in retail business as well, which is awesome. I was with Abercrombie and Fitch, so became their store manager really quickly at age 22. I went on to Ross Dress for Less, Tilly's, this California company. And hey, my second dream was California, right? So I went 10 years ago, moved out to California thinking I was going to get a store with the Tilly's. But when I moved out there, packed everything up, drove out there, but they stopped answering my call. They stopped answering email. They stopped answering text. I went out there with no jobs thinking I got a job. So that's what happens, right? So stay at a Days Inn, stay at a hotel for a month and a half, go around the mall with resume, and got hired on as a Michael Kors as their manager. But really throughout that time, just working there, and an employee told me, hey, I think you're better than retail, right? You're really great with customers. You also speak Mandarin, English very fluently. So maybe you should try this. So that's literally, I got an interview at a big firm, a Fortune 100 company firm, and started my financial service career. And really, my honor and just the privilege, and thank God, really, just 2.5 years ago, my friend, my client, Marvin mentioned to me about the Alliance, and I got involved. Went to my first event, 2023 family reunion, Miami, South Beach. I can never forget that. It was such a good time, and that's when I met like people like James, like Terry Edwards, met Andy Albright, Eric Belair, just amazing culture, amazing environment. So I'm so happy to be here. I've been traveling a lot all over the United States, making friends, learning from everybody, learning from all the managers. And I'm just super excited and fired up to be here. So actually, I'm gonna transition, and I'm actually gonna let Marvin here, and my good friend, good buddies here that told me about the Alliance, and one of my best person on the team. Marvin, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me here. Definitely want to thank Jane and Andy for the platform and just really paving the way. And then obviously Lucero and Ryan and just the whole culture of the Alliance. I too myself started out in retail. I worked for a company called Miller's Outpost, which then turned to Anchor Blue. So that was my first real interaction, being able to engage and communicate with people. And I found out that I was pretty good at it. I turned 18. Once I turned 18, I got into basically selling any and everything that I could possibly sell. Did really well, made six figures. It was an amazing time. I got licensed, started out in employee benefits in 2017. And in 2019, I decided to get licensed. And so for me, when I started out in employee benefits, all I knew was the health side of things. I had no clue about the opportunity that we have if you actually leverage your life insurance license. Because I had both, but I was only doing one, right? And I started out working in employee benefits, started selling deals, started closing customers. And like Lucero mentioned, back in 2019, they didn't really have a lot of e-platforms where we're doing e-apps. So I too myself had to scrub apps from Anthem, Kaiser, you name all the carriers, and literally that thick. And I had to scrub them. I had to sit down with the clients. And so the fact that we have the technology that we have here with the Alliance to really streamline processes is truly amazing. It really takes the legwork and really makes things so simple for us. And so I found the Alliance back in 2023. Some people do it sometimes, some people do it part-time, some people do it full-time. And I was one of those guys that was like, okay, let me check it out. Oh, I need to make 2 or 3 grand, make a little bit of money, and then I'd stop. And it wasn't until beginning of this year in 2025 that I decided to go full-time with the Alliance. I was working as a team lead, making $150,000 a year, overrides, bonuses, commissions, all that stuff. And I had a pretty weird experience with a certain individual. And I remember talking to my pastor, my wife, and Ryan. And so, the Bible talks about a multitude of counsel that there is wisdom. And so for me, I decided to leverage the counsel that I have in my life. And I just remember Ryan, I was like, talking to Ryan, I was outside, I was frustrated. I was like, Ryan, I think it's time. And he said, Marvin, it's either now or right now. And when he told me that, my wife said, Marvin, look, I trust you. I believe in you. If you're going to do it, grab your you-know-what and go all in. My pastor said, hey, Marvin, you know what? You heard the voice of God. You knew that God already told you to do it. He said, slow obedience is disobedience. So what obedience are you going to choose? And I said, the time is now. I got to do it. So beginning of February 5th, 2025, I'll never forget the date, I walked away from corporate America. And shortly after that, I got invited to AIT. The very first AIT, which changed everything about everything for me. And then April is really when I started getting it going, started working, close hand in hand with my friend Ryan here, and just being a sponge. So I like to consider myself a glorified appointment setter at the time. And so that's all I did. Hey, Ryan, here's a person that has an interest. And I just sat back. He did all the heavy lifting. And that's the power of what we have here at the Alliance, right? We leverage each other. We leverage other people's experiences to help train us, to equip us so that we can do the same and duplicate the process. So really grateful to be here, fired up, and super honored, man. Yeah, so that's my little 2 cents of how I got here.
That's incredible. I love you, brother. And then I just remember that in July when we had a great client and everything went issue pay, and then just able to show your wife that you made $27,000 that week. I took a screenshot, took you guys to the steak dinner. It was amazing. But next, I really wanted to hear the one and then the only Mr. James Coleman. I mean, I'm so glad you're on this call, brother. And hey, I'm ready to learn. I'm fired up. You always get me fired up every time. So, James, let's introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm James Coleman. First and foremost, let's give thanks to Andy and Jane Albright for creating this platform and having a vision and a dream that is so big that our dreams can fit in. So, like I said, I'm James Coleman. I'm out of Atlanta, Georgia, originally from New Jersey. Married to my beautiful wife Angie. We have 3 kids and we have two grandbabies. I'm like, wow. Ooh, it's growing, huh? But just a little bit of background about myself and how I found the alliance and everything. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, straight from Brick City. I'm out there, 11 brothers and sisters in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I was at a point in my life where it's though, hey, look, I need to make some money. And so I end up hooking up with the wrong crowd, and hooking up with the wrong crowd, caused me to go to a place like I say, hey, the only way you can get in, you got to be highly recommended by a judge to get in. And I got in, and I got in, end up spending 6 years there, spent 2 years looking at a brick wall. But I made a decision for myself while I was there, said, hey, when I come out, I am going to make 6 figures, no college education, no nothing, straight from the school of hard knocks. And I gave myself a time frame when I was going to make those 6 figures in, and I gave myself 5 years, but I didn't do it in 5 years. I did it in 6 years and 2 months. Worked my way up the corporate ladder, became a district manager for Best Buy, just like Ryan and Marvin. Hey, we got that whole retail thing going on, right? And in 2010, unfortunately, my wife got diagnosed with breast cancer, right at the end of 2010. And so at the end of 2011, I had a conversation with my boss, like, get me transferred down to Georgia or down to Miami to get my wife to a better support system. And he said, let's have this conversation at the end of the fiscal year, right? Because in retail, your fiscal year is different than your calendar year, right? And so when we had the conversation, he just like, James, you got New York #1 in the company for 7 years straight. I don't think it's a good time for us to have this conversation. And I looked at him. I said, hey, look, man, I'm gonna leave because I'm gonna say something to you. You're gonna say something back to me, and it's gonna go left real fast. And I walked out. I called my wife, doctor, and I asked her, hey, look, if I take a leave of absence, will you approve it? She said, yeah, you're your wife's caregiver. That day, I made a decision to walk away from a $165,000 a year salary job. With bonuses, I was making over $200,000. But for me, I could not put a price tag on my wife. I'm happy to say that last month, we celebrated 15 years of my wife being cancer-free. All praise to God. And so, but we ended up moving down here to Atlanta, right? And everything was good. I had money saved up. And the problem was we were still spending money like it was coming in. And one day we looked around and guess what? Garbage can got repossessed. Cars got repossessed. And we just found ourselves in a really, really bad situation. And my buddy, let him rest in peace, that he tried to introduce this opportunity to me with the Alliance 2 years prior. And I said no because I thought I was too good. And so when my wife told me to call him, I just had 3 questions for him. I said, hey, look, man, you still doing life insurance? He said, yeah. I said, are you still making 6 figures? He said, yes. I said, do I got to harass friends and family to make money? He said, no, we got leads. I said, I'm in. And I got started in April of 2015. Terry Edwards was my running buddy back then, because at that time, him and T was down here in Georgia, and we were just having a blast, man. And in 2019, I decided, because I got big-headed, to walk away from the Alliance because I thought the grass was greener on the other side. My wife was livid. My wife said, you walking away, I'm not doing nothing else related to insurance because I think it's a bad move. And I stayed away for 3.5 years. But here's the thing. I have zero regrets about it because it gave me the opportunity to see what was out there. It gave me the opportunity of what I can compare, what greatness looked like to what was out there. And so I decided to call Andy Albright up in 2023 to come back. And he was like, yes. And I walked away from a very, very high commission that the other company was paying me and everything. And people was like, well, why did you walk away from that? Here's why, folks. Here's why I'm back at the Alliance. The system, the people, the culture, the infrastructure, the training, the camaraderie, all of that. I don't think people understand when you're someplace else, you get bits and pieces of it. Over here at the Alliance, you get the whole entire thing. right? You have people here that's willing to hop on calls with you and your team to help you and your team grow, and they don't have a monetary vested interest in you or your team. But that's what we have here at the Alliance. And I can probably spend the next hour on this call talking about how important the system and the infrastructure is that the Alliance has compared to all the other companies that's out there. But we're not going to get into that. But I'm just grateful that Andy and Jane allowed my wife and I to come back, and we're here, and we've been here back now for just slightly over 2 years.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, y'all, for sharing your stories. So we're talking about building a team, building your network, and I want to get this started with a quick quote. I've been listening to an Audible. It's called "Building Your Network Marketing Business" by Jim Rohn. Like, Andy has been talking about that nonstop, and so I found the Audible. I listened to it a few days ago. I listened to it again this morning just to help me get my mind right for this call. And that was like, oh my God, there's so much good things on this call that I didn't hear the first time. And one of my favorite quotes that he quoted from Zig Ziglar was, Zig Ziglar said that the secret to great wealth, power, and influence and self-esteem is to find a way to serve the many. For service to the many leads to greatness. And that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Is we're going to talk to you about how to achieve greatness at the Alliance. Listening to that Audible, there was some stuff on there. He was talking about some philosophies that he's sharing that he's learned through his experience of building his own network marketing business. And he said that one of the core things is that network marketing is primarily a personal development business with a compensation plan attached to it. That's huge. I said, "Ooh, that's good." And we know people don't join companies. They join people and vision. So first and foremost, when we're talking about building a team, we got to figure out, what do the people want? What do they want? How do we bring them in, right? So it says that they don't join companies, they join vision. So number one, we know that the people you attract are tied to the people that you become. And this is true in all relationships. When I was in my early teens, my late teens, 17, 18, I was really bad at picking a boyfriend. I was not good. Do not recommend. I thought I knew what I wanted, but at 16, I mean, what are you looking for? Fun, somebody that's fun, somebody that has a car to drive me around. Not good. I started to work on myself, my learning who I am, what I want, what my vision is for my future, the whole personal development. And then what I was looking for changed drastically from what I had been seeking when I was 16. So first and foremost, I think, is figuring out where you are, knowing that maybe this is not where you want to be. You want to grow, learn how to figure out how to develop yourself as a leader, develop yourself as a person. Let's start with just as a person. And then number two, figuring out, do I have a clear vision? Do I know where I'm headed? Do I know what my purpose is, what my why is? And if you don't know, you don't have a clear vision, it's okay. You can borrow someone else's vision. So those are the two things that I think is huge before you even pick up a phone, before you approach somebody to talk to them about an opportunity, is figure out those two things. And so I want to start with a question for our guest when it comes to like having a vision and your why and everything when you're building a team. I'll start with you, James. How has having a clear vision helped you attract the right people into the business? And maybe why do you believe that vision is what attracts people to an opportunity?
Great question, Lucero. The reason why vision is important, because like you said, people are going to follow people that they trust and they believe, and that can get them where they're going. And here's the reality. If you don't know where you're going, and if you can't see what the big picture is, how do you expect somebody to truthfully believe in you? How do you expect them to truthfully follow you? right? So having that vision and that mission is real important. But first and foremost, when thinking about your vision and your mission, you got to start with yourself, right? And you got to identify what are your values, right? What are your beliefs, right? Because your values and your beliefs, they have to be a part of what the big picture is the vision, right? And so the people that don't have a vision, right, they are not going to get to where they want to go, because guess what? They don't know where they want to go, right? And so that vision piece is so important. And when I think about it, right, when you have people that don't understand the vision, right, or don't have it, right, those are the people that's going to constantly stop and start, and they're never going to get to where they're going, because guess what? That vision is not there for them, right? They don't know what it is. So as a leader, it's important that we have a vision for the team, right? And I know for me and my team, we do a Monday night call at 8:00. And every week I cover what the vision is for our team and what the mission is for our team, right? Because for me, it's important to constantly reiterate that, right? And constantly get them to see that we are moving in the right direction towards that.
That's right. What about you, Marvin? What are your thoughts? Your input?
Yeah, no, my thoughts are a lot like James, right? So, excuse me. Habakkuk talks about us having a vision and writing it down, making it pure and plain as day. So if we're leading people and we don't know where we're going, we're like a hamster on a wheel. And one thing that attracts people is people that have a vision, is somebody that knows where they're going, knows, you don't have to know it exactly how it's all figured out, but you know that there's a goal and an end result. And I think that really being able to have that as part of your DNA, right, of who you are, who you want to become, and as long as that's like an internal conviction of where you want to go and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish, people get behind that. It's like there's this magnetic force that attracts people to somebody that has a vision. And for me, that's what attracted me to Ryan. I know this man is on a mission. I know this man is destined for greatness, just like all the other great leaders that are involved with the Alliance. James Coleman, Terry Edwards, Marcus Richardson, obviously Andy Albright. And so it's like we should know where we want to go and what we're willing to do to get there in order to let other people become part of the vision so that they can reap the rewards of what they want to do. Because really, at the end of the day, it's about us serving other people. And if we serve other people, right, from a pure heart, knowing that, hey, look, I want you to win. I want you to go farther than me. I want you to reach higher heights than me. And if we can do that to people, we're going to serve them. And the end result, the byproduct of us serving other people to get them where they want to go, is it gets us to where we want to go.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, vision.
Good.
Big.
Ryan, you're a big man of vision. You have a huge vision when it comes to the Alliance. And I'm going to let you kind of share your vision and how you use that when you tell stories, when you're talking to people about the opportunity. Because I know one thing's for sure. Ryan talks to everybody about the opportunity.
That's right. And, and to your point earlier, Lucero, I was thinking that Andy talks about the 6 inches. Right. Everything starts with our mind. And I always believed in and say, hey, look, how big would you dream if you know you can never fail? And I really, truly believe that. It's one of those things where, like I was told before, if you serve the masses, you get to eat with the classes, right? The things like if you just get, help people get what they want and get whatever you want, right? And so it's one of those things where I feel like with this business and the Alliance platform, you can truly, truly create your own America. Like I remember Andy Riddle was talking one time and said, well, where can I build a team? And Andy pulled out a map of the United States. Well, where do you want to cover? And he said, I about throw my whole body on the whole map, right? So literally, like I'm wearing an American shirt. Like I'm proud of being in this country. It's one of those things where like we can go anywhere. We can talk to anybody. There's no limit. Like if I was training my team this morning. If I had told you need to make 50 phone calls, who said that you can't make 100 phone calls? You're just going to get to your goal faster because you're doing more activities, right? So if you're recruiting people, isn't it, if you make recruiting an everyday thing, an all the time thing, a 24/7 are you thing, right? And you're doing the activity, you're talking to people, then the result is going to come. Some people focus so much on the result versus the activity, right? Same thing with client acquisition, same thing with recruiting results and building a big team. Who says that you can only stay within your city? Who says that you can only go to your near neighboring city? You can go everywhere you want, right? And matter of fact, right? I mean, kind of a good transition too is there's so many ways to recruit. There's so many ways to build, right? And I know on this call, we all understand that recruiting is the everyday thing, all the time thing, 24/7 RU thing. But there are many ways of recruiting. So I'll ask, really start with you, Marvin, too. It's like, how are you kind of recruiting on your day-to-day? What are your ways of recruiting? I know there's a ton. We do ads, we do streetful rules are awesome, and we do our contact list, our warm market people. Let's start with you and like how you recruit and some of the ways that you're finding success.
Yeah. So one of the ways that I'm finding success is through the warm market, right? And it's because, there's a book that I read. It's called The Speed of Trust by Stephen Covey. And so really what it talks about is that trust makes everything faster and more cost effective. So when people trust you, things get done so much more quickly. When people don't trust you or there's a lack of, whether it be relationship or they're just skeptical, people tend to drag their feet more. And so trust is typically built off of a couple things, right? This is what the book talks about. It talks about character, being honest, having good intentions, and people who actually know us. They know my character, they know my intention, they know what I'm about, right? Compared to somebody who doesn't know me from Adam. And then competence, they know that I'm able to get the job done. They know that whenever I say I'm going to do something, that I actually do it. And so trust really starts with me. It starts with all of us, right? And being able to live with integrity, being able to deliver results. And so for me, when I look at my actual team, all of the people that are actually doing something and that are active and that are putting in the footwork, right? These are all people from my 1,000 contacts I have in my phone. Okay. And so Andy talks about it all the time. Ryan coaches us all the time. Warm market, warm market, warm market. Why? Because there's a component of trust that eliminates somebody that we don't know. Somebody that we don't know may be skeptical. And so when I look at, my team right now, everyone that's active in doing something, it's all from my warm market. For example, there was a client of mine that we did such a great job for him. I've met him at a boxing fight, right? I'm an avid boxing fan. I love to go watch people scrap and, get beat up, And so I was at the boxing event. Me and a couple of my boys from church were chilling. This gentleman walks right by me, happens to be a high net worth client. I had no clue. And this individual ended up introducing me into another gentleman who was already a licensed Series 6 and 63 and had his life license. And so we were able to hop on a call with him. And again, that is still warm market if you think about it, because, I built the relationship with him and there was an instant connection. The guy that I met at the boxing fight was a believer. Guess what? So am I. So we became like brothers. Like instantly, there was a connection there. And he says, hey, I got somebody so close and dear to my heart. I want to see him win. And I think after meeting Ryan and meeting you and meeting the rest of the team, I really think this guy will be able to blow it up. And so going back to the warm market, I have another friend of mine that I haven't talked to in close to a decade. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to hit him up. I hit him up. He's out in Houston, no license. He's in transition. He's looking for an opportunity. The guy is about the business. When he says he's going to do something, everything that I've coached him on, he's done. No questions asked. And those are the people that we're looking for. Somebody that we know, somebody that's urgent, that's motivated, and that's focused. And all of those people, they're in our contacts. They're waiting and looking for an opportunity. And it's like, are we going to be bold enough? Are we going to be stubborn to hold the gold that could be released into their life? And it's like, man, that's our job, right? Our job is to share people this incredible opportunity that Andy and Jane has created and that the Alliance has to offer, and share it with them. There's a saying, right? Some will, some won't. So what? We got to keep it moving. And so that's our job. Our job is to go out there, share with it. Whatever they do with it is up to them. It's a numbers game. We got to get our at bats. And the more times we're at the plate, the more times we're going to hit the ball.
And I'm just so proud of you, man. And I know I always share that vision with Andy. That I really, truly, when I close my eyes, I see that one day the Alliance, we're going to sell out stadiums. I talk about that at AIT. I talk about just that vision. I'm putting that out there for everyone that's listening right now and that's in the company, that's about to join our company. We will have stadium full of amazing people with this amazing culture, right? And it's like one of those things where, like, if you can dream it, or if you want it bad enough, you can really, really get it, that vision. And Andy, when he comes to Anaheim, California, when we do our West Coast tour, when he did his West Coast tour, he talks to us about painstakingly talking to the people painstakingly reaching out to the people that's in your contact list. Because if we do that, we will be $1 billion company. If we do that, we will have more integrity partners. If we do that, we will sell out stadiums. And I know, James, you are doing something incredible, amazing job right now. Your team is just on the tear. You guys are on some amazing growth. And you're doing something crazy on recruiting right now with warm market 3-4 rules. Let's go. Let's hear it from you.
Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. I'm going to echo exactly what Marvin said. A little bit of everything works, but what has the most power is your warm market. All of my frontline leaders are warm market people. And I think sometimes when we out here building this business, we tend to shy away from our warm market because it's so easier for us to talk to a licensed agent list. But we got to understand, when you're dealing with warm market, you got to understand you have that faster trust factor there because the person know you. Even if you implement the 3-foot rule, that faster trust piece is there because the person has met you, as opposed to you down the licensed agent list, right? Do we down licensed agents list? Absolutely. But here's the one thing that we got to factor in when we down that list. 90% of those people have burnt out. They done went from IMO to IMO to IMO. And it's very, very hard that you're going to find a gem, right, that is going to come and follow the system to a T and duplicate it, right? One of the other benefits of warm market is you have a higher retention rate. They stick with you longer because they trust you. The other piece is because they trust you, right? It's easier for them to start to follow the system because they believe in you. You already have that credibility. With a licensed agent list, you have to develop and build that credibility for those people to trust you. And sometimes doing that takes a little bit longer as opposed to if you're doing it with your warm market, right? In the last 2 weeks, I just brought on 6 warm market people. And I had, right before this call, I had somebody reach out to me that's warm market that wants to get started, right? And the other thing, while we on social media, we got to understand that we a brand out there on social media, right? Because we have our warm market people on social media watching us, right? So what are we putting on social media that's going to make somebody want to do business with us, that's going to attract that person to us, right? I had something that happened to me on Saturday. I pulled up to Dunkin' Donuts. I got my Nork hat on, and I see this guy hop out this Benz, and he got a New York Knicks hat on. So I pointed to his hat and pointed to my hat, right? Instant connection. And then the guy said, "Hey, man, you look familiar." I'm like, "Really?" He said, "Your name James?" I'm like, "Yes." He said, "I came out to your house about 3 years ago when you and your wife won the quote on doing the epoxy floors." I'm like, "Oh, wow." I said, "That's like 3 years ago." I said, "You got a good memory." Here's what he said. "I don't have a good memory. I follow you on Instagram and Facebook, and I see you doing big things in the insurance business. I got a 24-year-old son that's with Prime America. Can you help him?"
Wow.
They're coming out to the meeting tonight. And speaking of the meeting tonight, we got you in the Atlanta area, in driving distance. We got Miss Mia Fennell. We got Spencer Albright, Jeremico Edwards, Jeff Bright, and myself tonight in Atlanta.
Wow.
Get your people out there tonight. We got a powerhouse. But here's the thing. You're talking about warm market. I just want people to think about this. You bring in people into this business, warm market. Do you understand that you have the ability to help them grow and create wealth with somebody that you know? You get to put yourself in a position and put them in a position to travel the world together, and it's somebody that you know. Why would you want to pass up on that? And here's what tends to happen with a lot of people. They don't want to talk to nobody. Hey, understand, every one of us that's in this business today is because somebody wanted to build a business, right? And so the people that don't want to talk to people, the people that don't want to come to the conferences, the people that don't want to plug into the training calls, they want to stay to themselves. I'm going to say this to those people. A person who keeps to himself is apt to be corrupted by the company that they keep, which is themselves. Stop, and in the great words of Diane Lampy, stop making financial decisions for other people because you're not talking to them. Give them an opportunity. Say something to them. Let them be the ones to say no. And even when they do say no, understand no just means not right now. When this first got introduced to me, I said no. But guess what? 2 years later, I'm in. No just means not right now, but with the understand that the key is also in the follow-up.
That's right. That's really awesome, and it's one of those things where like you're doing amazing things. You're making your personal brand, and how this guy 3 years ago following you, and now they have a person at home that's doing the business. But of course, we can help them there from Prime America. That's really awesome, James. It's really, really good to hear that. And so I think one of those things where now, if we understanding recruiting, it's an all the time thing, everyday thing, 24/7 thing. Now we know there's ways out there we can do ads, 3-4 rules, but your warm market especially. Making sure that you guys are creating that list right now. Get with your manager right now. Say, hey, sometimes maybe my voice is one thing, maybe another voice can be more helpful in terms of reaching out and making those dials together, right? But I want to talk about, too, the most important thing. Now, let's say we get them in. Now say they join our company. One of the most important things we talk about, Andy preaches, get people close to the fire, right? And we're talking about events. Right? Events. We have a ton of amazing events that are kind of coming up right now. AIT, December 1st to December 5th, right? Why not you? Why not now? I know Marvin and I went to our first AIT in March. I mean, you're talking about learning directly from Andy Albright, right? You're literally with President's Club right there. You're playing with Lucero. You're with the recruiting team, right? And I mean, I would just say right now, like this AIT coming up, I mean, just listen to the lineup real quick. Diane Lampy, Terry Edwards, Adam Katz, Alex Avian, Andy Riddle, Mike and Noel, Jason Mathis, and Andy Albright. Like this is not an all-star team. Like literally, this is like NBA All-Star weekend. This is AIT in December, so we still have some time. Make sure you're signing up. We have cabins, December 15th to the 18th, Christmas at the cabin. James and I, we've both been in the cabin. We know the food, we know the drinks, we know the environment, the leadership. Shout out to my cabin buddies, Mike Marisi, Mark Burrows and Marcus Richardson. Like people are there. I mean, we're learning from one another, and just so much leadership out of that. And I want to ask, the two of you guys really, and Marvin, just starting with you, right? I mean, what was it like really? Like, I know right now you have people on your team, but I know recently, let's say one of your agents went to their first Alliance event, National Boot Camp in October. And just talk about the transition in that.
Yeah. So, I mean, they always say, like Ryan said, get them close to the fire so that they can catch on fire. Right. And so the agent, just was starting out with us and got him onboarded, whatever. He made the decision when we finally got him to go to NBC, National Boot Camp. And, the incredible thing, it's because like when people are in the center of the picture frame, it's hard for them to zoom out and see the full picture. And so getting him to the event got him to zoom out to see the full picture, to get exposed to the environment, to see home office. Like if you've never been to home office, I encourage you, get down to home office. When I went to AIT for the very first time, I was blown away. I was like, what in the world? This is like 4 Walmarts. Like this place is humongous. And so for my agent Cody, he went to the event. got super fired up. He got to spend quality time with the team, because we do, we're all across the nation, right? So when you get a moment to bond with the team and to create the synergy and to really experience the Alliance culture and to see all the other rising stars, the top agency owners just doing their thing, they really get a taste of like, man, this is a real company, And so him going to his first event got him super fired up. Since he's come back, he's purchased leads, he's already bought his ticket to NatCon. And on top of that, he bought an additional ticket so he could bring someone with him. And so like, that's the beautiful thing about the Alliance is we have a system, we have everything in place. Once you get your team to the event does all the work for you. So it takes us having to labor, get them to the event, they're going to catch on fire. And it's a perfect example of our agent Cody over there in California, got to the event, he's fired up, he's making calls, he's dialing. And what more could you ask for, right? Get them to the event so they can catch on fire.
Right. And he's attending hotspots too, just like what James
talked
about. If I'm in Atlanta right now and tonight, you better go to James's hotspot. I'm gonna jump over, right? Literally go to James's hotspot. So James, like, what are you doing to also, I want to hear from you. How are you helping your team get them closer to that fire?
Yeah, most important, man. Everything's about communication. I think I heard Andy say this one day on the call, and he said, communication is the lubrication to financial affairs, right? And when he said it, I had an aha moment when he said that, because it's about we bring people into our business and we want them to have success and win. And part of them having success and win outside of personal development, right, is financially, right? But we bear the responsibility as leaders, right, to constantly communicate and paint that vision, right? How come it's important to plug into the system? Because we say all the time, hey, this business is caught, not taught, right? But you can't catch it if you're not there, right? You just can't. So I'm constantly talking about it, getting them to plug in. Like I got a guy on my team, one of my leaders, Mr. Benji Fortune, came out to me with the to the cabin back in March, came back in September, and fired up. So in the month of October, he hit his first month as the agency manager, coming out of boot camp on fire, right? Qualified. Not only did he qualify last month, but he also hit his first month as DM, and looking to this month to go ahead and qualify as DM, right? So having people to get into that environment to see what's possible and get them to network with other leaders that's there is an absolute game changer. And before, I used to be the guy, I wanted to keep my team around me and everything like this, right? Don't I go networking, right? Because I was afraid that they're going to get some advice from somebody that's going to mess them up, right? And in a bad way, right? And so now I just let them, hey, go out there and network, right? And I introduced them to some people and everything, but go out there and network, because you got to see how real this is. You got to see how many people are willing to help you, pour into you, and they don't have no monetary vested interest in you. They got to be able to see that and experience that on their own. This whole thing is about networking. And this whole thing is about, hey, look, let's make a friend before you need a friend. Rather that friend be the insurance carriers, and rather be somebody else, right? A cross-line agent that can help you on the phone. Right, I had a recruit that spoke Spanish, and I had to get somebody on the phone with him that don't speak Spanish. Right, hey, can you talk to this person? But that's the power of networking. That's the power of getting people to come to these events so they can build that relationship with folks.
Yeah, that's huge, James. I agree. So working here at headquarters, like, we have access to all the reports. Like, we see everything, and like, the most common trend we see after an event is everything goes up. The premium goes up, the number of recruits goes up, and it's like, it's not a coincidence, right? The people that come to the events are the ones that are going up, everything just goes up. So that's huge. We see it. There's so much benefit to coming to an event. It's networking, it's exchanging phone numbers. Like you said, meet somebody and be their friend before you need them. It's coming to learn. It's coming to soak up it. But so you got to do it, right? You first have to lead by example and then invite others to come with you. So if you've got your ticket for NatCon, if you're coming to AIT, if you're planning for the next event, awesome, you're doing the right thing, but you're only doing half of it. Now it's time to bring an army with you. Bring an army with you and get them close to the fire. Get them in front of Andy. Get them in front of Clay and Robbie and all the leaders, everybody that's making it happen. Because like Ryan said, if maybe you are not the voice that they hear that makes it click, maybe it's James Coleman, maybe it's Diane Lampy, maybe it's something that Mike and Noel said on stage, right? And that's the power of these events, is that you have diversity when you come to the events. You have different stories to pick from that you can say, I'm not sure about that because my background's not there, but I connect with that. And so I can use that and I can take, so I think that's huge. The events it's part of the 8 steps is attend all meetings. And that is one of the attend all meetings. This is something also the TWC is an attend all meeting, the activity call, the hotspots, if your manager is doing any team calls, that's attend all meetings. And so it's part of the 8 steps. It's in the what's it called? The blueprint that Andy Albright has made for us, the 8 steps to success. It's in there. So, and you hear it from us, you read it in the book, you read it in other books, because it's not just Andy's book, it's other books from other successful people. And it's like, maybe if I'm hearing it multiple times, maybe they're right.
And speaking of books too, I've been just reading and also listening on my travel at this book, Inside the Circle of You, by Andy Albright as well. This, if you gotta get in this, you gotta read this over and over again. Andy talks about, we want to help people grow in our company, but we need to find pockets of leader that wants to help others grow as well, right? We need leaders, right? Everybody's growing, that's great. Come to the event, that's great, but we need leaders to willingly, right? And he talks about it's based on the WANTTO, the want to, right? Let's get the want to go in and get yourself doing it, implement everything we're talking about. And Andy's teaching in his books, Inside the Circle of You. Like, are you willing to move? And are you willing to move fast, right? You can make money fast, you can make money slow, right? It's really up to you. And are you open to change, right? I think this past Sunday I was at church and it talks about how when God sends you certain challenges, is it either to teach you or maybe it's to change you, right? Maybe you were doing something for a while, you wasn't on the right path. He set your path on. He might want to change you a little bit. So, and I know for a fact that for the first 8 years in the financial service career, I was one of those person that say, I believe in my ability. I believe that I can dig in products. I know the numbers. I just believe in myself. I would never build a team. Right? I don't believe in building an insurance agency. I believe just being a smart advisor and do the right thing for the client. But soon to realize, I'm just by myself. I have 24 hours. Emergency happens. Family stuff happens. So if you're out of the business, what happened to your income? But what I realized at the Alliance when I came to the events, like, wow, these people, they're making great income. They're making great compensation because they have a team. And every time when there's an emergency, when bad things happens, the team actually rallied together and produce even more. That's the culture that James was talking about.
Yeah, Ryan, I love you because we think the same. I have it on my notes to talk here about the Inside the Circle of You book, because I was thinking when you're talking about building and recruiting and networking and everything, stuff it's going to go wrong. The people on this call, they're not perfect. They didn't get it like that, they had problems and situations and things that they had to, fix or worry about while they're building a team. And so that's huge. Keeping the mentality of keeping it inside the circle of you, not worrying about what you can't control, worrying about what you can control. And it takes time. It takes time to get there, but you got to practice it. In that Audible, I keep talking about it because it's really good. The Building Your Network Business by Jim, he said something that I was like, oh, that's good. He said, we need to learn how to discipline our disappointments. I said, man, because I've got a lot of disappointments going on in my life right now. But if I sit there and wallow on them, I don't do anything. I sit there and get depressed. What good does that do for me? Nothing. I can't control my outside situation. I can't control what other people are saying. I can't control any of that. So why focus your time there when you could focus on, okay, this is going on. It sucks. It is what it is, but I could still go out and talk to somebody about the opportunity. I could still go out and talk to the sharpest person I've got. I can still go and book a flight to go and sit down with the sharpest person that I've got to build a relationship, to keep that relationship going, to go through their warm market list, to teach them how to do it. If I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'll call somebody that knows how to do it, but I can still do the do while we're going through a situation, while we're going through problems. So that's what I wanted to say.
And Andy said in the books, Inside the Circle, you can think about it. You can think about recruiting. We can talk about recruiting, but doing it is how things get done.
That's right.
Right. And the people that are really good in this business with people, I call it, we're in the people business, guys. Right. And the people who are really good at, there's two things: consistency, persistency. Right. Yeah, you gotta get told no. It's like today I was in a recruiting call, and thank for President's Club, by the way. I get these, like licensed recruiting. I'm just dialing them, calling them. Got a great conversation with a girl from Alabama, Priscilla, right? It's not right now. She has a great job, making good income. Not right now. Hey, we had a great conversation, keep my contact. But afterwards, maybe most people will just all right, well, I'll just keep her contact. Maybe I call her once in a blue moon and maybe just forget about the person. But what I did is I sent her a text. I said, hey, thanks so much for being nice. And it was such a great conversation with you, by the way. And here's my contact. Please keep it, right? And by the way, I sent her a photo of me and Andy on a jet. I sent a photo of me and Andy on stage at NetCon. Or I sent a photo of my team. I say, hey, by the way, Priscilla, just want you to know, this is our team. This is my boss, Andy Albright. We're real people. We're not AI. Right? Those little things that you do, this energy is contagious, right? So when you're out there talking to people, sharing the opportunity, making sure that your vibe and your energy is on the right track, right? Back to 8 steps to success, the final 8 steps is, are you communicating in a positive mental attitude? It is contagious.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I think you're doing a great job, Ryan, in your business. I've seen it, and James and Marvin duplicating, because you didn't just come up with that idea. I see Andy do it. I've seen it doing for by the 10 years that I've been working at the Alliance. I see what he's doing, and you're literally explaining what Andy is doing. So let's talk about that for just a little bit, the power of duplication. But here's the key is duplicating the right people, right? So we need to learn how to duplicate people like Andy Albright. When you come to the events, I want to challenge you. The next time you come to an event, I want you to get as close to the heat, as close to the front row as you can. I know there's VIP packages or whatever. Pay for a ticket if you need to, but get as close as you can and watch that man on stage and watch everything he does, how he sits, where he places his hands, what he says, how many pauses he takes, who he's like, everything, because he does everything with intention. And if we can just get 1% good at duplicating what that man does, our business, it's going to show in the result. It's going to show in the numbers. So talk about that a little bit, James, maybe like the power of duplication. Who are you duplicating right now? And how are you teaching that with your team?
Hey, great question. Lucero, I'm duplicating what Andy doing, right? Am I 100% at it? Not at all. My business it's not big as Andy, but here's what I will tell you. My team, we will get to 5 million a month, right? And the power of duplication is that when you duplicate action, right? it duplicates success, right? And when that happens, now you're talking about speed and simplicity, right? And this is one of the reasons why, if you're looking at the boards and stuff, you see my team has just went this way, right? For the simple fact, it is the power of duplication, right? And even from when it comes down to what the coaching and training, when I'm coaching and training with my leadership team, I have my leadership team doing the exact same thing. Right. And so we have 2 leadership calls a week. It was 3, but now we're down to 2. But I'm taking the time to show them the business, right? I'm taking that time out. And then they're charged with their responsibility to do the exact same thing with the people who they have identified as leaders, right? And here's the thing, especially when it's warm market, the duplication is quicker. Right? Because they trust you, as opposed to, once again, we go back to the cold market licensed agent list. That duplication process for them takes a whole lot longer. The other part of that is that when you got your warm market duplicating you, right? The retention is there, right? And also the traction is there in regards to them starting to move in the right direction, as opposed to a cold market recruit that you're trying to get to them get them to do the exact same thing. On the warm market recruit, hey, you can get them to give you a list much faster, right? As opposed to cold market, because they still trying to trust you. They still trying to figure you out. So that duplication piece, when I say it's profound, but as a leader, what we got to understand more importantly is that leadership is visual, right? Because our people are going to do what we do. Are we doing the things that we supposed to do so they can duplicate that? Are we showing up the way we supposed to show up as leaders so they can duplicate that, right? So to me, it's bigger than just duplicating and following the system. It's all about, leadership as well. Yeah. Right? The way we handle things, right? I like to say, hey, look, when it comes down to coaching and training your people, right? Your job as a leader is to be upfront and honest with them when you're coaching and training them, right? But also leave them on a high note, right? And get them, hey, when you're coaching and training, you got to do the exact same thing, right? Because here's the thing, if all I ever do is be a yes man, what am I teaching my leaders to do? I'm teaching them to be, because they're going to duplicate what it is I do. James said yes to everything. Nah, that's not it. Right? So if we're reading every day, like we're supposed to be reading every day, right? Are we getting our team to duplicate that? Right? If we're doing these coaching and training calls, are we getting our team to duplicate that, right? So my team, they're going to see James always recruiting. They're going to see James always selling. They're going to see James on these calls, right? They're going to see James at the events, right? Because here's the thing, we can't talk about it, right? If we're not about it, because if that's what we're doing, then we already lost. Mm-hmm. Expression is not execution. Right? We got to execute on these things that we want our people to do. Because we all know they're going to do what? 50, 60% of what we do, right? But how much are we doing? Where does the coaching come in at to get them to understand the power of duplication, get them to understand the power of systems, save yourself significant time, energy, and money? What does that look like? Because when you got systems, guess what? And people can follow in and duplicate that. Now you see an uptick in your business, and your business start to grow exponentially. Did that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. What about you, Marvin?
Yeah. So, piggyback off what James said. That's a great insight. I was taking some notes here as well, so I'm always trying to learn, right? But for me, it's really the right duplication is the key to success. So it's duplication is the key to success, right? There's a formula, it's working, and it's the key here is it being the right duplication. So making sure that we're implementing the right things, right? We start implementing the wrong things. That's not what we're after. But when we begin to duplicate the action, there's a positive reaction that comes from it. So if I'm duplicating what Ryan's doing, everything he's teaching me, everything he's telling me to do, there's going to be momentum that is a byproduct of me duplicating what he's asking me to do or what I'm seeing him doing more better. And so momentum in this business is key. We want to execute fast. We want to see explosive growth in our business. And one of the easiest things to lose is momentum. It is. It's very easy to lose, but it's very hard to gain. It's very much like trust in a relationship. It's one of the easiest things to screw up, and it's one of the hardest things to build. Same thing with momentum. Same thing with duplication. We have to make sure that we're giving our team attainable, actionable goals that they can implement, because person A may move and operate in a way that person B doesn't. So it's being able to leverage my relationship with that individual, finding out what makes them move, what gets them to tick, what motivates them, because what gets person A to move may not be what person B needs. And so it's my job as a leader to identify those relationships that I have with that individual and what makes them tick. And so we have a saying here at my church that says that I want to replace myself. So I'm always looking to develop other leaders. I'm a deacon at my church. And so it's like, how can I find other men of God that are hungry, that are on fire, that want to go higher, that want to achieve more in the kingdom of God, and that want to advance the kingdom? It's like, how can I replace myself? There's no competition here, right? It's like we're all winning. It's so my job as a leader here in my team is, how can I replace myself? Because there's levels to things, right? And so if I can get one person on my team to go here, we're going like that. We're all leveling up. And so it's really about, how can I replace myself? How can I duplicate myself to create an action, the reaction and the momentum that's going to continually push my business in a positive forward momentum. And I really think that duplication, the right duplication, let me say it one more time, is the key to success.
Hey, Marvin, I want to piggyback off that, man, because that's great stuff. One day I sent Andy a text message, and I said, Andy, what is the one thing that I can do that's going to have the most value, add the most value to my business? And Andy texted me back and he said, get somebody to duplicate you. So, and people might think that is so simple, but here's what we got to understand. When we get people duplicating, right, that means everybody is following the same system, which means we get faster training, right? We get faster results. It creates a stronger culture within the team, right? It also creates independent agents, whereas though the agent now is not being sponsor dependent, they become system dependent, right? It also creates faster leadership development, right? And the biggest piece for me is that duplication is the foundation to passive income.
That's right. And James, it's so crazy because I kind of text Andy the same thing earlier this year. You can see the similarity here, but literally he says that, hey, you're a leader, right? And you're a great leader for the company, but where is your other pockets of leader? Where are they? You need to find these leaders within your group. You need to develop, you need to promote, you need to have more leaders, right? Imagine, one Ryan Chang is great, one James Coleman's awesome, one Marvin Torres, one Lucero is great, but we imagine there's 10 of us. Right? That's you're now that we're talking a different game. We're talking millions of production per month. And if you watch Andy at the convention, I watch him at every convention, his movement, what he's doing. Andy is the busiest person at the convention. I'm telling you right now. He'll be sitting down, looking at the contents, right, paying attention. He'll get up, he'll go talk to Gina for a little bit, go to the back, high five me and James in the back. He'll talk to Lucero about something, Clay about something. Like he's all over the place. He's he's welcoming guests, shaking hands, and just talk about duplication of the leaders. And within our family, our Alliance family, there's so many people you can copy. Like the lineup I just mentioned, the AIT. Like these are very successful people, Integrity Partners, board members, right? I mean, Adam Katz, Alex Abian, Diane Lempe, Jason Mathis, Andy Riddle, Mike and Noel Terry. Do you see them slowing down? Do you see them let up? No, the way how I see them, why I travel is because Mike and Noel is doing it.
Yeah.
Right? Adam Cass is everywhere, his team, and Alex is AB, and Riddle's everywhere, Diane's everywhere, Terry, and most importantly, Andy's everywhere. He's doing 3 city tours. I went on the 1 city tour. And man, like, this guy is working. I feel a little tired. I'm like, how can I feel tired? He's literally, he's on tour. He's been doing this. So I just love the fact that we have so many great people to copy. But I talk to my team about this all the time. I said, learn it. It's one thing. Copy it 100%. But you have to implement it, because that's what matters, right? Everything you learn, everything you can copy, but you really got to do it yourself. Like, are you willing to change? Are you willing to take that step further and just get out there and share this amazing opportunity? And we're not talking about, oh, let's get somebody in to sell insurance. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about coming here with the lifestyle, right? The compensation, the legacy, right? I think about this all the time with my son, little Andy, about to turn 1, and my wife Tatiana. I just think about all the time when I wake up, like, man, I'm so excited to be building this amazing thing and creating all this amazing relationship for them, right? I had a chance to have dinner with Andy in Cabo. He says, what are you building to make sure that your family is always going to be there? Maybe your children. Most people's children, after 18 years old, right? 19-year-old, they left the house. Maybe you're lucky to see them on holidays. What are you building to make your children come back? If you see what Andy's doing, I mean, Brandon and Haley, right? Integrity Partners, Spencer, right? Doing an amazing job. I mean, his children's in the business with him. Not a whole lot of successful people can say that.
Yeah. That's true. I do want to go back on something that you said a while back, Ryan, that I think is huge, and I think we should definitely backtrack on and maybe stay on a little bit more. You said that you've seen that successful people, what the key is consistency and persistency. Did I hear that right?
That's right.
I like that. I've heard that a lot too. I think it was Marvin Otsoy said that on a TWC one time, and I remember I wrote it down in my journal, and I have like books and notebooks at my desk from like 10 years worth of TWCs and activity calls that is really good to just go back and read and look at and just refresh your mind on things you already knew, but it's good to just go back and listen to that. And that's one of the things that Marvin was talking about is consistency and persistency. And I remember that when you said that, it was like, I remember that. Something I heard in one of the audios I listened to this week was the law of averages, and the law of averages plus activity equals the key to success. And I thought that was big because, like, if you are maybe new, if this is your first time listening to this call, maybe you're still deciding on if you want to build a team or not, or how to go about that. You're just not sure yet. Know that even if you don't have the skill yet, you can obtain it. All you have to do is start, because the more you do something repeatedly, a ratio becomes to appear, right? You got a ratio. So maybe you're brand new, talking to new people, talking to your warm market. Let's say you're going through your list of contacts, right? This is the perfect place to start. If you're new, highly recommend that you go through your contacts first. You've got people to talk to, and you've got an opportunity to do 2 things with each individual. Number 1, present the opportunity, and number 2, sell some insurance. Maybe you're brand new in sales and you've never had any practice. Why not start with people that you know, that you have a relationship with, and you can say, hey, 2 things. Number 1, I got into the insurance thing, and first time, brand new, they're training me and they're telling me I got to call people I know, and I have to schedule an appointment to do, a presentation just so I can practice. Number 1. Number 2, let me talk to you about what I'm doing, and I'd like to invite you in to do this with me, right? Let's say you have that conversation with everybody in your contacts. Well, it starts to create a ratio. Maybe out of every 10 people that you talk to, 1 person says yes. And you're like, aha, I got one. But see, what happens is a lot of new people, they get really frustrated because they want to see results right now. And so then they leave. They're like, this doesn't work. I talked to 10 people. I only got one person. Dude, you talked to 10 people. You got one person and you got one person. So no, okay, every 10 people, it looks like I get one person that says yes. So go on to the next 10 people. You're going to get another person that says yes. The more you do that, imagine you talk to 100 people. How many yeses are you going to get? 10, because that's your averages. And here's the magical thing that happens is after you've done 100 calls, your ratio is going to change. Now it's going to be out of 10 people, 2 people are going to say yes. And it's just going to keep going up and up and up. Here's the other magical thing that happens is that your skill increases. You get better at what you're saying because you're practicing. You're doing the do, and so your skill goes up. So what I'm trying to get at is if you're new and you're scared, or maybe you're not sure, Andy says, what does he say? He says, feel your way into a do. No, do your way into a feel. Do your way into a feel. Don't feel your way into a do. If I felt my way into a do, every day I got home from work, I would not be cooking dinner because I don't feel like it. I feel like sitting in my couch and binge watching a Netflix show, right? Because that's what most people feel. We don't want to do anything, but I know I got to get home. I know I got to do dinner. I got to do all this stuff. And when I'm doing it, then I get excited. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't like cooking. I know I have to do it, but I start doing it and I'm like, oh, I'm doing it, yay me. Or I have to go to the gym. Oh, I hate going to the gym. I don't like working out. But when I'm working out, I'm like, dang, I feel good. I'm glad that I did that. And so do your way into a feel. Eventually, with all of the activity that you're putting in, the consistency, the persistency that we're talking about, you're going to get good and your self-confidence is going to go up.
Right.
So that's
and also another mindset too. I mean, a lot of people feel like in client acquisition, it would be, well, if someone give you the objection or rejection, they feel like, oh my gosh, they take a step back. But actually, objection and rejection is buying signal. You have to look at it like, and when recruiting, the ratio, the lower averages say that it tells me if after 10 no's I get a yes, then I gotta get through those 10 no's faster.
That's right.
I'm going to get through it faster. Like, how fast, if you knew the 11th is a yes, how fast would you dial the first 10, right? And at the same time, one thing I've been doing earlier this year is I am presenting the opportunity, but then I'm kind of going around, not directly to that person. I'm almost like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm expanding. Would you happen to know anyone in your network that you trust, respect, have a good relationship with, that they're hungry, they're motivated, maybe you're looking for some other opportunity? Do you know anyone? And then turns around there and asks me, so what is it you do? Right? I didn't ask them directly. I'm kind of going around them. So that's been really helpful. Just an extra tip there.
I love that, Ryan. And by the way, Ryan's not going to brag on himself, but I'm going to brag on Ryan because he's my friend. He's doing an incredible job of building this business at the Alliance. I mean, just, again, in my 10 years, like someone that I see and I'm like, man, that guy's going somewhere. He's doing things and he is doing the do. Andy has always bragging about him. I think, was it earlier this week, Ryan, you were in Charlotte and I think you had like 10 people. Talk to me about that. What happened this week? Because that sounds exciting.
So it started with, really, I knew someone that's from a different IMO. And luckily enough, I really pushed and invited them to NBC. They showed up, and I mentioned them. They're in the crowd. I mentioned their names, so they were there. And I made a point for them to meet Andy, and I made a point to say, hey, I want to come visit you guys. I want to come to Charlotte. I've never been to Charlotte, mind you. So I want to come visit you guys. I want to come hang out and just bring all the information and material to help you guys understand kind of what we got going on over here at the Alliance, the estate planning, the debt program that we have, all the carriers that we have. So I was in Charlotte the last 3 days, just spending time with them. And so they invited, their team members to their home. So we kind of did a showing the plan in Mandarin in their home. So on Sunday, there's 10 people there. Yesterday, there's about Monday, there's like 9 people there, on Monday. Wow. So what I did was I took what I've learned from all the leaders like James here and all the leaders and board members. Like when we do hotspots, guess what? We have books. Like I brought like 10 like 8 steps book, and we got carrier marketing. So I brought them with me, although I'm in a setting where we normally don't do short in the plan or hotspots. But I went there and I kind of met a setting where like we're doing a hotspot. So I'm doing the showing the plan. I'm passing out Andy's A steps books. So imagine now Andy's A steps is in Chinese households now. So I'm trying to pass his books around these people and tell them about the opportunity. But what I also did was I took a step back and I said, well, I'm staying in this hotel, the Hilton. I check out the area before I go to. I said, well, when I get to the hotel, I want to look at the conference room. I looked at the conference room, took pictures, showed it to Andy, sent it to Andy. I said, this would be a perfect spot for a hotspot here locally, 15 minutes from their home. So I went back to them. I tell, hey, come to the hotel real quick. Look at the spot with me. Do you guys like it? They enjoyed it. They liked it. Right away with the hotel, booked the day next year, January 29th, to do a hotspots at the hotel. Now, it's a setting that we're used to. Now it's the hotspot where we used to do hotspot at the hotel conference room, right? And got on the phone with Gina Hawks. It's either now or right now. Hey, Gina, are you free on the 29th? Can you come to Charlotte? Gina says, yes. Boom. We're booking it. We're doing hotspots. We're going to do Mandarin showing the plan, English showing the plan. We're going to start doing Mandarin estate planning seminars.
Wow.
Like just, it gotta be urgent. I mean, Andy said it's either now or right now, right? And that's the things I've been telling, these people that I'm sharing with, whether they're, Mandarin speaker or English speakers, the reason why I'm able to, by the way, just so you know, when I first came to the Alliance deposits $0 in my bank account, right? But now they're giving me all these deposits because I'm just doing the do. I'm just copying, I'm duplicating, but I'm just trying to figure out ways I can do it faster and with more people.
Right. I like that. I'm taking notes too, by the way, but here's what I got from what you just said, because your team's exploding. You're traveling, number one. You're traveling. So you're getting outside of your house. You're doing that. You're networking. You're doing opportunity meetings. Here's another thing that's huge. You're communicating with your growing upline and you're asking for guidance. You're asking for support, right? You are on Andy's radar right now. Like seriously, he talks about you a lot, but why? It's not because he randomly thinks about you. It's because I guarantee, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but I guarantee that Ryan is constantly texting Andy, is telling him what he's doing, is getting for his opinion, is literally probably talking every day. Am I wrong, Ryan?
Yeah. Pretty much every day. Yeah. I believe in this, right? Squeaky wheels gets the grease. I believe in that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, that's right. And, again, it's no surprise that people like Ryan Chang's business is exploding is because he is communicating with Andy. He's communicating with his growing upline consistently. Here's what's going on. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm thinking. Check my thinking. What are your thoughts? So I think that's huge. And then the urgency too. The urgency part is big, is getting stuff done. I was going to say the other S word, but getting stuff done now. So right. We got about 9 minutes. I don't know if you're okay with wrapping up, Ryan, or if you had anything else that you wanted to mention.
Yeah, I just think too, guys, like you got to think about it this way. And I learned this a while back, and it really is true. I think James and Marmy guys can attest this. Like, I always feel like if I'm not sharing the opportunity with this person, somebody else will. If I'm not calling on this person, somebody else will. Another company, a WGAP, but they're going to call these people. So if I can get in front of them, like that's why the urgency is so high. Just always, I have this, I think it's like the fear of like failure. It's actually sometimes bad, but sometimes it's actually good because you use it as motivation. But that fear of like, if I don't do it, somebody else is going to get to it anyways. Mm-hmm. So why am I holding back? Like, why am I just, like I have an amazing team. I have this amazing Alliance family. I know our culture. I know our system. I know our platform. I know Andy and all the leaders. Why am I like stepping back? No, I'm going to charge and push forward head on like a rhino. Like I just picture myself like a rhino. I'm just pounding everything through. And again, I just feel like that energy does come across. And when I meet other people, even from the other company, they hardly seen anything like this before. Like James talked about, they maybe get a bits and pieces of it, but they're not going to get all of it. So I challenge all of us, when we go out there and share an opportunity, bring all you got with you, right? And I think Andy asked us at a private dinner in Cabo. He said, if there's one thing you want to leave, like a message to your children, what would you say? I thought about it. I said, I would tell little Andy, I said, dream ambitiously, but take action like there's no tomorrow.
Yes.
Right? Because I want your dream as big as possible, but your action, like you're taking action, massive amount of action, that there's no tomorrow. That's where it's going to get you to where you need to be.
That's good. James, Marvin, wrap us up. Last thoughts. What do you guys think?
Go ahead,
You can
Marvin.
start first, James. Sorry.
Okay, great. So my whole thing is this, right? People who say they never had a chance never took a chance, right? You have to get out there and take a chance, right? You got to be willing to duplicate the leaders that are winning. If we look at the top leaders in the company, all of them came from warm market. I want people to walk away with this. I want people to walk away with the fact that there's a higher conversion rate of getting people started and moving fast in this business with warm market than there will ever be with cold market. So I want people to understand that your credibility is already built with your warm market versus your cold market. So yeah, get out there, do the 3-foot rule as well, right? But painstakingly go back through your phone. Look at your people on social media. I got a girl I brought into the business, and guess what? I'm on social media and I saw that, guess what? She was licensed. Here's the crazy part. Her phone number in my phone has not changed. And it's the same. That's why you hear Andy say, painstakingly go back. Go back. I don't care how long it takes you. Lucero, you said it. You're going to develop a ratio, an average. But you got to do the do. I say behaviors, B plus P equals R. Behaviors plus processes equal results. But you got to identify what result that you want to accomplish, right? You got to figure out what processes do the alliance have in place for you to do. And then the behavior, that's your activity. That's your activity, but it got to be the right activity. So get out there, painstakingly go back to your phone, look at your people that's on your social media, and reach out to them. I promise you, you got a better conversion rate with those than a licensed agent. Listen.
Let's promise each other that as long as we're the alliance, we're going to see that day when we sell out stadiums.
Absolutely.
True. Let's bring that vision to everybody. Yes, sir.
Yep. Yeah. So, to piggyback off of what James was saying, that was fire, James. That was amazing stuff. But going back to what you're saying, our warm market is going to hold the highest retention. So for me, after I get off this call, you know what I'm doing? I'm going back to this because I know there's money in this. And sometimes we have to be reminded about the things that we already know. And yes, we may know, we may hear it, but sometimes it gets put on the back burner because there's so many other different things going on in our business. And so for me, it's really, getting my team and getting all the agents to push past their fears, to push past their anxieties, because fear does two things, right? It either propels you or it keeps you stuck. And I'm done living stuck. It's time to move forward. It's time to charge. It's time to set new levels of expectation for myself, for the team, to go higher, to be better, and to do more. And so really, it's just, the business that we're in, it's an activity-based, momentum-based business, right? And so it's activity. It's what are we doing on a daily basis? And even me, myself, I have to get better at communicating with Ryan. We talk pretty often, pretty frequently, but Lucero said something that basically Ryan's tapping in with Andy almost every day. And so me and Ryan, we tap in a lot, but it's like, okay, so it helped me identify the areas in my business that I need to fine tune so I can go to the next level. I want to break past the ceiling in 2026. I got some big goals and I'm just ready to do it. So Going back to everything that we talked about, 3-foot rule, 100% important. You know, the 3-foot rule I've been able to implement. I've been able to get clients. I've been able to recruit. 3-foot rule is powerful, and it's the more swings that we're getting at the plate, the better that we're going to get. Going back to the universal laws of attraction, right? We're getting our at bats. We're playing the numbers game. Andy talked about it in AIT. Everything breaks down to math equation. That's it. You can't fake the funk. You can't fake numbers. Numbers don't lie. That's exactly what he said. And when he said that, it made me realize that the activity and the stuff that I do on the daily basis is going to translate to my results and the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And when you guys are scaling your business, I'm going to go back to Lucero, the President's Club. I mean, President's Club, I feel like the past 6 months alone or 12 months has literally 10x'd it. I mean, there are a ton of tools in President's Club, you know, when you're scaling your team, when you're recruiting, when you're doing outreach, when you're doing, you know, management. I mean, the President's Club, it's on fire right now.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ryan. I'm very, very proud of the department I work for. I'm very proud for representing President's Club. Like, I, honest to God, really mean, I'm proud for my team with Stephanie and Clay and Amir. Like, we're working very hard to help bring more value to you guys, to help your life get easier, and just to grow this thing, because that's the ultimate goal here at the Alliance. Is we're trying to increase the premium. Like Ryan said, we're trying to sell out stadiums, and eventually we're going to go worldwide, baby. This thing is going to blow up, and I am so excited to be a part of it. I'm very grateful I got the opportunity to share this stage with you gentlemen. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for getting on the call with us. I hope you got something. If we just got one little thing, we were successful in our goal here today. So thank you, everybody. Y'all have a great Wednesday. Let's go crush it.
Let's go. Thanks. Thank you, sir. Thanks, guys.